What's up, everybody? Uncle Mike here. Back in the shop. Got the car back unloaded. Put it in here. I think we developed some kind of an oil pump issue, or maybe we've had it. We just really haven't caught it. At Modern Racing, Justin noticed the oil pressure was falling off at high RPM. So today I'm gonna put a mechanical gauge on it and just check it versus the sensor and make sure there's not something goofy going on with the sensor. If they're the same, and I'm gonna rev it up, check it out, and see. I don't know. I don't know what's going on with it. I pulled it in the shop and I had 50 pounds of oil pressure on the dash, 55, whatever it was. I'm gonna warm it up, let it get warm, check it out pretty good before I decide to pull that oil pan off. I hate the oil pan that's on there. I want to buy a new one, and they're just expensive. So long story short, that's my plan for right now. I got to go get a couple things out of the trailer. I got to find my mechanical gauge. I left it laying around here somewhere. Not sure where it's at. I think I see it sitting up there because I did have it hooked up before. So I'm gonna, just do a little check on that and see if there's something. If the mechanical gauge is reading the same as the dash and it's fluctuating and stuff, then I know I got some kind of an oil pump or a possible bearing issue. I'm gonna keep my fingers crossed, hope there's nothing wrong with the bearings, because I am gonna check them regardless when I have that pan off, just to check them out. So, be back in a minute. All right, so I took the oil sensor off, and I have this brass piece going into my block, and then the sensor screws into it. Well, when I took it out, I noticed it was cracked. Not only that, I don't know if you guys can see this or not. See that stuff right there? That was inside of the brass fitting. I don't know. I guess I over tightened it and broke it, and then threaded it somehow. And I don't know if you can see there. Mistake number one. So I don't know if that was getting in front of the hole in the sensor when it was under, when the oil pressure was going to it, or what. I'm sure it didn't help it, but. So what I'm gonna do now is, I've rigged this piece up. This is my Fuel Tech sensor, and then I'm gonna put a mechanical gauge on this side, screw this in, and then just see how close they are in comparison to to oil pressure. And then I'm gonna rev it up and see if the pressure drops. So I'm gonna get this installed. I'll be back in a minute. So, as you can see, I mounted that in there, plugged my sensor back in. Now I'm gonna lower the car down and run my line into my mechanical gauge. I just wanna check everything out. I just wanna check everything out first to make sure that, one, my screw up with the piece, I over tightened it, I guess, and broke it. But then as well, I don't know if all this, you can see that stuff was inside of that brass fitting. So I don't know if that was pushing up against the hole and blocking it at higher RPM. I'm hoping that's all it was, but we'll see. We're fixing to find out. I gotta lower the car down and install the line on the mechanical line. All right, I'm gonna try and hold this somehow. I'm gonna start the car up. My oil pressure is at the bottom right there. There, we can see a little better. Well, I don't know if my sensor's off or what. Sorry about the crooked camera. Okay, so you've seen that I had this gauge. It's a new gauge too. I bought it when I first, it's a Bosch. I mean, just a little, I think it's 50 bucks or whatever. But I bought this gauge when I first started the motor up, just so I could compare it to the sensors and all that. Well, I'd taken it off, obviously. So we just tried it. The dash says that it has 58, 59 pounds of oil pressure. This was between 90, 95, 100, you know. So Corey has these fancy Mac gauges. So he said, let's compare the two mechanical gauges to see. And that's what we just did. And this one read 93, 94 pounds. So I'm thinking that there's an issue with the sensor. Whether a piece of trash got up inside it from the stuff that I was showing y'all. I don't know. It's some thread material, you know, where it cut threads in that brass. Maybe it got up inside that sensor and messed it up. I don't know. I am gonna go ahead and get another sensor for it and see if I can fix it. But other than that, you know, checking it against 2 mechanical gauges, I brought it up to 3,000 RPM and it held 90 pounds of oil pressure. So it fluctuated a little bit. That's just because I got all them hoses and stuff and it takes a little bit for it to drain back, but once it gets circulating like that, it should be fine. So no oil pressure problem, we hope. But according to this and according to the other mechanical gauge, it shouldn't have an oiling problem. So, because right now that gauge is showing 50 to 60. I mean, I'm 30 pounds difference. If I was 30 pounds difference at 6,000 or 7,000 RPM or 70, whatever it was, and it was dropping down, it should, if a 30 pound difference, it should be 50, 60 pounds going through the trap. So if that's what it's doing, I don't know. I know one thing's for certain, I am gonna save my money up. I'm buying me a new oil pan just because I don't want to take that one off because it's a pain in the ass. I'm gonna buy me a nice 2-piece pan and put on this thing. And probably at that time, I'll put a nice Titan pump or another Billet Moroso pump, whatever. I'll put something good in there. But hell, who knows? I might put a dry sump on it. I don't know. But that's my video for today. It's not very long. I appreciate everybody staying with me. It's been kind of miserable for me because I wanted to make videos. I just didn't have any content to make anything, but I'm gonna start pounding them out. We're gonna get this deal set up and get this thing ready to go to Snowbirds. So we'll see you in a few days, and happy Thanksgiving to everybody. Uncle Mike out.